As the Pac-12 turns. And today, thank you. Yes, of course. Today, a very interesting conversation surrounding Washington State University and their president making comments about the Pac-12 TV deal. And what I find so interesting is the spin now. The spin had stopped. We had not heard from Pac-12 presidents for the last couple of weeks. And now all of a sudden, out of nowhere, on a recorded interview with a member of the Washington State staff, we get the president at Washington State talking about the Pac-12 TV deal. And before we play the clip, Jake, I want to ask you, how surprised are you that this is how this clip went down?
Yeah, I mean, I think when we get into these clips and we look at what this guy said, what Kirk said, I think what surprises me so much is this is very much the Arizona State approach, where you have, the Michael Crows of the world, you have the Ray Andersons of the world, they either want to do a local easy softball interview or they want to talk to their literally just their university paper. And I find that really interesting because I think that, again, there is a certain value to doing an interview that cannot be, characterized as softball or as easy or safe or hey, they're only going to ask you a certain type of question. I think if you're a Pac-12 president and you're going to speak on this TV deal situation, I would think that, yeah, sure, you're going to do an interview with the school paper. Totally get it. It's the school paper. But if you're really trying to do a serious interview, one that kind of defines the situation, and you're going to say some of the things my guy Kirk here says that you're going to see in a minute, I would think that you would want to do that in an environment with an independent media outlet. And that's kind of where I was a little surprised because it's true. This interview very much was out of the blue. This wasn't scheduled. This wasn't some sort of, hey, there was a reason for you to talk. Or
but again, what did you say to me, though? You were like, oh, God, his name's Kirk.
Yeah, I mean, dude, if your name's Kirk, I could already put a good wager on the fact that I'm not, really getting, the meat.
If your name's Kurt, you're taking your belt off when you talk to your kids.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
That guy's definitely a douche.
Yeah, Kirk is not a normal guy name.
You're a douche.
And I don't know why we brought that up. I just felt like you needed to exercise those demons, Jake.
But I think this first clip that I think we should play is this one where he's talking about optics, because this whole concept, when you hear this clip is him talking about the fact that major tech companies aren't doing the TV deal right now because it would be bad optics to sign $1 million or multi-million-dollar college football media rights deal when you've just laid off thousands of people.
Well, and I also think it's important to note this is clearly recorded on a conference call camera. It is at Washington State in a conference room, recorded on a Zoom camera. You'll see that there. It's Kurt Schultz, the president at Washington State, being interviewed. And here's what he says about the optics being bad.
Why is it dragged on so long?
I think it's just the environment. It's the uncertainty in the economy, the layoffs in the tech sector and other places. I mean, look at the major media companies have almost all laid off people, and so have some of the major players in the tech sector. And, I know at least one of the partners we were talking to said, we're ready to sign today. But the optics of us announcing that we're laying off X number of people and we signed, this multi-million-dollar deal with the Pac-12 are just simply not the best. So we're going to have to wait 6 weeks. Now, I'm not sure if 6 weeks make that much difference or whatever your time frame is, but clearly the optics was something that those groups are really worried about.
Now, I want you to also understand that this interview is being conducted by a member of the Board of Regents at Washington State, a guy named Enrique Cerna. Again, on an odd zoom angle lens camera thing. But right there he says the optics are bad because tech companies are laying people off. The obvious inference is, hey, ESPN laid a bunch of people off. That's why this deal's not done. To which our sources at ESPN chuckled and said, well, that has nothing to do with it. The bottom line is the Pac-12 hasn't found a streaming partner yet. And our part of the deal is as done as it's going to get because we're not moving off of the number that we're at. So again, I think all of this is spin. And so I go to like this next clip. This is President Kirk Schultz at Washington State being interviewed by a member of the Board of Regents at Washington State, talking about how the Pac-12 owns the Pacific time zone.
Media rights, where are we now?
We've had really, really good conversations with major media outlets and recognizable ones that everybody goes, oh yeah, I can click on the TV and watch that. Over the last 6 months, ESPN's a great example. They laid off a whole bunch of employees. Yeah. If you said, when would be the worst time in the last 6 years to try and negotiate a media deal, probably the last 5 months is going to be pretty close to the worst. And so what's been happening is we've continued to have those conversations with recognizable major media outlets. They're very interested in the Pac-12. People have to remember, our football isn't as great as this conference or that conference, but we occupy a coveted time slot where people need live sports content around the nation. People like college football, and the Pac-12 owns that West Coast time frame.
No, you don't. No, you don't. And this is a thing that I really struggle with in the Pac-12. I understand it. You are, in my opinion, pushing a brand. Hey, when it comes to Pac-12 after dark or football after dark in the Pacific time zone, that's the Pac-12. No chance anymore that's the Pac-12. Because we're not talking about 2023 here. We're talking about 2024 when UCLA and USC are in the Big Ten. And so you don't own the Pacific time zone past this football season. No, you don't. Because any way you slice it, and let's say best case scenario, you get San Diego State and let's say Fresno State. Does that mean that a million people, a large TV audience, are coming to the screen at midnight Eastern time?
No.
No, they're not. At 10 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday for kickoff between Arizona State and Fresno State. For kickoff between Arizona State and your mom. No, because USC and Ohio State or USC and Michigan or whoever you want to point to, Penn State and UCLA, because they're on NBC, who has the deal for Big Ten After Dark, which they specifically designed to compete with the Pac-12 because they know the audience is valuable. So let me get this straight. Even though NBC and the Big Ten took your two biggest brands in UCLA and USC, you still think you own the Pacific time zone. The warped thinking that is happening here. Now, my guess is that's hyperbole. I don't think Kirk Schultz, the president at Washington State, believes that. I truly don't. But then you listen to this comment about streaming. This is, again, and I want to make sure I see a lot of people coming on. This is Kirk Schultz, the president at Washington State University. He is being interviewed by Enrique Cerna, who is a member of the Board of Regents at Washington State. Here he talks about the importance of streaming.
Do you expect this to be kind of a diversified type of thing? I mean, not just one media company, but
I believe it's going to be multiple media companies, and look, streaming is here to stay. And I'm not trying to make this is some sort of weird thing to say, well, our whole deal is going to be streaming, but all those other media deals out there have streaming parts to it. Who's playing a away football game in my hotel, and I'll be on the West Coast footprint, and I go, crap, I cannot get the Coug game on.
Yeah.
And so we heard time and time again, not just with football, men's and women's basketball, volleyball, these other sports, baseball. How come, Kirk, I can't get the Pac-12 network or I can't watch us play? So that's been something we talked to media partners about.
This guy just should not be talking. What is if you are either Washington State or any other president in the Pac-12, and you look at this conversation, you look at this interview, whatever you want to describe this as, what is the positive of this? So let me get this right. The companies that we are potentially going to do TV deals with are too embarrassed at the moment to sign a contract with us, so we have to wait. Well, streaming's really important, but people are upset that they can't see us anywhere. You're just saying all this stuff, and you're like, we own the late night window in the Pacific time zone. Like, you're saying all this stuff, and I just go back to what I've said for the last several months. Why are you guys talking? Why are you doing media? You won't let George Kliavkoff, your commissioner, the mouthpiece of your league, do media. He is not authorized to speak to the media. But yet your presidents are talking to the media, and I think they're blowing your feet off when you have, you have all of these presidents that are saying several different things that conflict with each other. And you have President Robbins in Arizona talking about certain affinities for the Big 12, and he understands that it's a power basketball league. And I don't understand the rationale from the Pac-10 in allowing these presidents to speak. It makes no sense. What other league do you see presidents talking in? So why are you talking in the Pac-10, 12? You have no reason. There's no upside here. There's no win here. This just feels really dumb.
Yeah, and I feel like this one was more off the top of his head than the Arizona State one. I mean, at least in the Arizona State one, there was a clear mission and clear script that he was reading from. At least here it was like, oh, well, yeah, I was in my hotel room and, people were reaching out to me and I couldn't get the Coug game on TV because we don't stream anything. And it's like, yeah, we know. And what's crazy is that Pacific time zone thing. What I feel like he made an ass of himself about with it is you're talking about how you own that time slot, but you don't own that time slot after the season's over. And the funny thing is you're doing an interview about something that's going to start taking place after this upcoming season is over. So you're supposed to be, because you're a president, you're supposed to be an industry expert. You're supposed to be someone with all the information. You're supposed to be someone that's super knowledgeable on the discussion. And this is why I say at the beginning of our conversation today, these guys and gals do not want to do interviews with people who will press them. When Buddy says, hey, we own the Pacific time zone, well, sir, actually, how do you come to that conclusion when USC and UCLA are in the Big Ten and they're slotted to play at the exact same time as you? Do you really think that the family of five in Huntington is going to watch Oregon State over USC? Do you really think that someone's going to watch, I don't know, San Diego State over Bronny James playing basketball? Do you really think that people are not going to choose USC over the brands you have left? Well, no, obviously not. And that's precisely why you don't hear presidents in other conferences talking, because Brett Yormark is a polished speaker and knows how to answer every question, and presidents do not.
Yeah, this is a remarkable interview. If you missed it, coming up at about 45 minutes from now, we'll play those comments again. Matt Ritson, first one in today, gives us a $5 tip to say, report today, 8 large markets are losing the CW, including Seattle, Sacramento, and San Francisco starting September 1st. They're not losing the CW. Those are CBS television stations that are pulling out of their agreements with the CW. And a lot of people believe that it is over Live Golf. CBS, as most people realize, is the home for the PGA Tour and most major golf events. And the CW is partnered with Live Golf. So this was inevitable. This, in my opinion, has nothing to do with Pac-12 or Big Ten, which a lot of people think the Big Ten was. I am told that one has nothing to do with the other. It is strictly an issue with CBS not wanting to endanger its relationship with the PGA Tour. And frankly, like San Francisco is the perfect example. KPIX did not want to air Live Golf. And for those of you who don't remember, CW pretty much mandated that all of its major markets carry the Live Golf events.
I want it.
Because CW is partnered with Live Golf.
Right.
And it was a major upheaval. Most of those major markets do not carry it because they are not owned and operated by the company that owns Nexstar, the company that owns CW. Those are all stations that carry CW programming. So, for instance, when we were talking about the CW and the Pac-10, one of the things we were talking about is they don't have owned and operated stations in Arizona or in Washington. So that doesn't make it a great fit because you can't mandate that those stations carry Pac-12 football. So with all due respect, Matt, I just think people automatically assume there's a story in television and this must be, oh my God, this must be football related. It's not. It is the majority of these stations are CBS stations that are pulling out of their agreements.
Yeah.
So I just, in my opinion, I just don't happen to think it's that big of a deal. Welcome our newest member, Kyle A. What's up,
Let's go,
Kyle
baby.
A?
Off to a good start here.
Good to see you. You guys hit the membership button. It's a little join button. It costs you $9.99 at the top tier. That gets you into our members only content, which is our chat group on Instagram. You have to be an upper tier member to get into our Instagram chat group. You get all of our exclusive information. It's a great community of dudes. So for $9.99 a month, you get that, which means you get all of our inside information first. $1.99 gets all your comments read because you get a little asterisk next to it. So, Kyle A., we appreciate you. What's up? Let's see. Who was the actual first one in today? I have to go all the way back to the top. Meat Rocket. First, it's Monday, and I'm ready to for the chaos that is the Pac-12. Yes. Dibs says happy Monday. Let's see. Vorlon Angel says the Pac is not telling the truth. That's surprising. It's really not. It's not surprising. Lopes fan Gabe, long time. What's up? Good to see you. He says like button casuals. Yes, please hit the like button. J-Rod says you can't handle the truth.
Right.
I would agree with that. Absolutely. I would agree with that. And I think that's one of the biggest issues is that you just can't. You cannot trust what the Pac-12 is talking about.
No.
And I think it's a huge problem. C. Kaufman, member of the show.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go, C. Kaufman. Welcome home. Good to see you. Travis Hinton, good to see you. Man, some long times back in the comments today. I even saw Teddy Wayman in the, there he is right there, Jet Wayman. Good to be back, he said, Brandon Butler. Jet Wayman.
Welcome back, sir.
Jet has been, for those who don't know, Teddy Wayman is the tile king of Utah, so he has been very busy. So
I want to thank me for having no days off.
King, good to see you. Mike Chase, good to see you. Man, you guys, a lot of the oldies are in today. Lonnie Johansson says, good afternoon, all. What's up?
What's up, dude?
Good to see you guys.
Let's go,
Good
baby.
to see everybody in the comments. Spangler, what's up, my KU fan? Live Golf is stupid. It really is not good. It really is not good. Saul Goodman, by the way, I tried to watch season 1 of Better Call Saul over the weekend. Terrible. I don't know how that show survived season 1 because season 1 was terrible. And after Live Golf, Pac football. Oh, wait, nah.
Nah, I'm fine.
You know. And Donuts, the Pac is slipping further into anonymity. They're fixated on the iceberg dead ahead.
Yeah.
Oof. That could be. Tanner Plummer says, Live Golf ran by the guys who cut people's heads off.
Yeah.
Tanner loves that drop. It's from many, many months ago now. Mm-hmm. When Live Golf was announced that it was, a tour backed by the Saudis, I may have gone on a rant where I may have mentioned that they cut people's heads off. I may have.
I mean, I can't confirm or deny,
Moth Prof.
Saudi stooge.
Monty and Jake should star on Live Golf. Can I get an amen, you guys?
Bless up. All right, thank you.
Yes, I was talking to my guy Darren Ingram up at Canyons Golf today because I cannot hit a driver to save my life. And I jokingly said to Darren Ingram, hey, if I snap the shaft on my driver in half, I've been told that will make it easier to hit the fairway. He's like, oh yeah, you'll hit the fairway because you won't be using the driver.
That's what fucking
ticks
me to fuck off.
I can't hit a driver to save my life. I have like a rocket ship $700 driver from PXG. I can't hit it to save my life.
It's actually not that easy, but for me it was easy.
Yeah, I can't do it.